Well, I'm going to put you out a quick survival tip, if you want to call it, for like cars or Jeeps or trucks or whatever the hell you got. And this is a Suzuki Jimny's SJ413. One of the best things you could do for effective traction is just to air down the tires. You know why this is not commonly known? I mean, it's commonly known in four-wheel drive circles where people are going out on the trails, and like normally what they get is, like, these aren't bead locks or nothing, but they'll actually have the beads bolted right to the tires, which, you know, you also see the race cars have that stuff too, because the rim will spin inside, you know, the slicks if you don't do that right. But the reason they'll have bead locks, so you can air them down real good so they won't pop off, the bead won't pop off the rim. But you can air them down pretty good. I mean, I'm not talking like 5-8 pounds or anything like that, but you can air them down to maybe 10 to 15 pounds, or say 12 to 15 pounds, no problem, as long as you're not going too fast. And a lot of times that'll get you out of a jam. You see, the reason you're not hearing this a lot is because there's no sale to it. What they want to sell you is, here's like Firestone Winter Force tires. Those are good, you know. They'll try to want to sell you some chains. Actually, I'm going to tell you though, just in this video, that real quick. These chains, you see how they are with the chain going like this? They grab really good, and with this thing over here, these are real easy to put on. These are the easiest ass chains to put on I ever freaking seen in my life. These look Cleed, whatever the hell they are, Cleed Alpine. Man, I got a set for my Suzuki here, and I got one for the El Camino. But without spending any money, and see, like I said, they always got these commercials out there, go in the snow or we pay to tow. Remember that? They used to pay that. They used to do that thing. What was that, a Firestone commercial or some crap? Or maybe they'll sell you, you know, these are good to have, a little snow shovel like this. Or e-tool I got up in there, a piece of wood, right? And to tell you the truth too, just to you know, I'm down south, but you can get stuck in sand real easy. And I can tell you one of the best things to get out of sand is airing down the tires, making it more like a big balloon footprint. That'll make a major difference getting out of sand. Because with snow, I mean, at least you can get down to the road, right? If you're in sand, you know, you forget it. Actually, there's been people out near the water in the sand, out in the boonies, you know, that died. And what they did was, they were at four-wheel drive, and they died. They died from, you know, lack of water exposure and all this kind of crap. They were actually near I forgot what it was. It wasn't even in the United States. I think it was in Australia. How they got the vehicle out, they drove it out. They just aired the tires down about 10 pounds, and they drove right the hell out. They didn't know that. But, you know, this works for sand, it works for mud, it works for snow. All three. I think a lot of people up in Canada probably know this crap about airing down the tires, and they go like son of a bitch. You can only air them, like if you're going to be driving around on the highway and your tire pressure is supposed to be like 30 pounds, you could probably get away with 22 pounds, especially in a cold climate. And more than likely you're not going to be going on fast on the highway anyway, because it's freaking, you know, it's icy or snowy, or it's partially snow or some crap, you know. You know, you're not going to be able to drive down a highway with 12 pounds of freaking pressure on your tires, on your drive wheels. But I actually have a tire pump like this, and it's probably right here. It's probably sitting right up here. Yeah, see, that's in the El Camino. Gauge is in here. The tire gauge right here. This thing's got chains in it, and I got the tire pump in my Sebring convertible, and a gauge, and also the Chevy. Watch, I'll hit my head on that thing. Just hit my head on that stupid thing. I didn't realize it was there. And I actually even have these in there too, this is a brand new kit. Just, it's some bullshit kit, for fixing the tires. So you can fix your, not only is it good to have this pump to air back up. Say you got to air down your tires to maybe 8 pounds just to get out of something. Well, and I know these kind of gauges, I got the other gauges that are better. This is just something I threw in there. It's like $1 gauge. It's better than nothing. You got an idea of how much pressure you got in the damn tire. You can pump them up again. Because maybe you got to get it down. Maybe you got to get them down to 5 or 8 pounds. You got to watch, but just enough to get you out of that area. Say it's sand, snow, or mud. Now you don't want to go too low, because 8 pounds would be pretty damn low for a tire like doesn't have a bead lock. But say try getting it down, and that's why you want this gauge. You want to get it down and maybe try 15 pounds. See if it gets you out. Try 10. Well. If it don't work in 10, maybe you got to go a little lower, man. But a lot of times it works. See this is very commonly known in the 4-wheel drive, circles. They know this, but average people don't know this. And I got to tell you, I've seen country bumpkins. And I'm talking about in Japan, like out in the country. Man, they be driving the regular cars out and shit that I thought this thing would get stuck in, man. These guys knew how to drive. And you'd be surprised, man. Sometimes you can get a regular ass car through a lot of shit, way more than you think. Dad used to drive like that, man. The old DeSoto, man. I think a bomb would go through anything. But yeah, the other thing is, like I said, keeping this tire pump on hand, you got to have the tire gauge for buck. And watch these damn pumps, because I usually don't like getting them with plastic handles, but this handle on this thing is a solid plastic. And make sure you get one that's metal. I think this one, yeah, okay. This one's a good one. I got this one because it's made in America. This one actually, some of these freaking tire pumps, they're plastic, and even the ones you use, the foot pumps, the ones you step on, man, I broke so many of those goddamn things. I don't like them. I'd rather use this. And when you're using this, don't necessarily use your arm. Don't use your arms. Use your legs. Like, in other words, if you got your legs, like, put your arms on here. And don't use your back going back and forth, but pump up and down using your legs, more with your legs. If you're just using your arms only, you're going to get tired pretty quick. If you got to pump the tires back up again. So that's another thing. If you're using your back, you're going up and down, bending your back, you might hurt your back. I don't know. It doesn't hurt my back, but it might hurt your back. But use your legs. Use your legs, and you get a lot more force that way. So that's a free tip. Don't underestimate how much it works. Like I said, the people that drive around in the mud and shit like that, and I think people up in Canada know this crap, because they got to deal with the snow all the time. But say you get this monster snowstorm, it just happens. Well, do this. You get stuck. Everybody that doesn't really even notice. They're like, oh, what do I do? I'm going to put something under the tire. I'm going to try to shovel it. Air it down. Air the bitch down. But you got to do it with a gauge, because you don't want to go too far down. You can safely go down to about 20 pounds, no problem. Even 12 or 15. And if you're in sand, this is about the only way that's going to get you out, man. Because you're not going to be digging the sand all around you or some shit that easy. That might help a little bit if it's blocking, but, I remember I got the El Camino stuck one time in sand. That's how I got out. Aired the freaking tires down. I just put one wheel in the sand. One wheel. It was in California on a base out in the middle of freaking nowhere, out in Pendleton. And like I said, they don't tell you this. They don't tell you this because it's free. Like, you could probably get away with not having change, not having, it's good to have change, but knowing this, this tire pump, like I said, it could do more to get you unstuck, because you've got to pump and a gauge. You air it down, then you pump them up after you get unstuck. And for $5 more, you could throw one of these kits in here. And if you get a flat, you got your tire pump, and you can fix your flat no problem. And a lot of times it's easier to fix the flat than it is to change the tire. And I keep all that in a plastic bag usually. That's the way I do it. And even just to say here, like I said on another video, on the times these big heavy trash can liners are one of your best survival blanket type things. They can keep the heat in or something, or the rain off you or some kind of crap like that. That's why a lot of times I put these things in here, like I got the ratchet puller and the tire change in this bag, which keeps it sight unseen in the vehicle. But then this bag could be an essential survival tool in itself, which I showed on another video, how a simple ass trash bag can freaking keep you from getting hypothermia or freezing your ass off or whatever, just keep the rain off you. And it can also be for collecting water. If you need to collect a lot of water, and see you got a hole in your radiator, or your hose, you're leaking water out of your radiator hose, and you got a stream maybe a mile away, you can pick up some water. That trash bag can pick up some water and hold it, fill up your radiator. Then you can actually fill it up, that trash bag, again, and just keep driving, and then keep filling up your radiator as you need it, and you can make it a lot of miles, right? If you got a hole in a radiator someplace, or you freaking got a hose that broke or some shit. Like I said, there's a lot of little that, and they're always quick to freaking sell you, survival kit. You know what I'm saying? This damn ass tire pump with that gauge is a survival kit, just like that damn trash bag. But you're not going to see that from the from the people that sell survival shit, because it's they ain't making no money on it, man. They ain't making no money on it. So make sure you get a good quality tire pump. I hate those freaking pumps. And those electric pumps, there's ones you plug in. I got one somewhere. It's still they're a piece of crap. I mean, you gotta watch. If you got something that's electric and you're dependent upon electric, you definitely want this. You might, that compressed little air compressor might be nice to have, but if somehow you got some other problem where it don't work, that works. That works. Just remember that. Just keep it simple, stupid. Whatever.